Hello everyone, Assistant Narrator Richardson signing in. And I've always wanted to go to a snowy place like Antarctica or somewhere like that. I prefer being cold than being hot. Although snow, I don't really like that much because it just makes like your feet wet, shoes wet and everything. Something to think about. Anyway, let's get started, shall we? Item number SCP-6132. Object Class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. Foundation web crawlers are to monitor for the appearance of text and images depicting SCP-6132. Foundation satellite Delta 88 has been assigned to orbit primarily around the Northern Hemisphere, fitted with anomalous tracking equipment in order to pinpoint possible locations of SCP-6132. MTF Pi 1 is then to intercept SCP-6132 before contact can be made with civilians. Subjects affected by SCP-6132 should be considered memetic hazards and dealt with as such. Description: SCP-6132 is a spectral entity superficially resembling that of a desiccated quasi-humanoid female of indeterminate age/ethnicity. SCP-6132's height and facial features are subject to change with each manifestation. SCP-6132 remains in a constant state of joy, with a smiling expression extending much further than what should be possible. SCP-6132 shows signs of extreme putrefaction, with its eyes releasing a continuous stream of black fluid. While SCP-6132 produces no sound, subjects have reported auditory hallucinations in the form of a child's laughter when in the presence of it. SCP-6132 will manifest beneath the ice of bodies of frozen water, primarily within the Northern Hemisphere. If in the view of a human individual, SCP-6132 will breach through the ice and remain still, levitating 0.5 meters above the water. Subjects will feel compelled to remain staring at SCP-6132, entering a state of suppressed neurological function. After approximately 5 to 10 minutes, the individual will resume normal function, no longer becoming aware of SCP-6132's presence. Over a period of 2 to 5 days, the individual will begin to lose the ability to self-regulate their internal temperature, resulting in hypothermia/hyperthermia and organ failure. During this period, individuals have been known to enter a state in which they begin to continuously laugh despite their current condition. This has been described as painful and uncontrollable. This coincides with the development of extreme aquaphobia. Soon after this, the individual will expire. Addendum 1. The Foundation Department of Mythology currently contains 2 records of SCP-6132. One in the 18th edition of the book Monsters of the Developing World, seized from the estate of Lord Blackwood. An excerpt from the text has been listed below. The Eyes Beneath the Ice. 6th of January. Upon my travels deep into Russia, high up north, through heavy snow and dense winds which ran wild across the evergreen forests, I was spurred on by legends of a creature living deep within these icy barrens. Frederick said it had to be a surprise. "It's your birthday after all," he said, and something within me yearned for the adventure, and I took the offer like a dog chasing a ball. Our guide told us we were headed for the Lake Baikal in Siberia, one of the deepest frozen lakes in the world, and the likely place to spot this elusive creature. A team of me, Frederick, our guide, and 2 others set off the next morning for the Great Lake. 7th of January. We struck gold. Never in my years have I seen such a place, and please excuse my candor, but it had to be one of the most beautiful gosh darn things I have ever seen. A colossal sheet of ice, with a depth that stretched into the thousands. The ice was clear as day, yet my eyes could only pierce into small fractions of its depths. We set our base up by the lake's edge, hoping for the creature to emerge so that I could photograph it for my collection. 8th of January. Last night we faced the terrors of the creature. At roughly 3 in the morning, I woke to the sound of a gunshot and the cries of one of the men who came with me and Frederick. Bolting outside of the tent, I saw the man looking off into the distance, his pistol clutched in his hands. I attempted to call out through the darkness, although he ignored me, fixated on whatever was lurking out in the lake. He took a step forwards, and a hand burst from the thick ice, tearing into his calf and pulling his leg into the hole. By this point, the others had been altered, and along with me we attempted to pull the man from the ice. The creature was strong and unforgiving, with a rotting hand ending in 7 digits. Our efforts were in vain, as the ice broke and the man was dragged beneath it by the creature. The guide grabbed his rifle and proceeded to unload it into the ice, to no avail. We waited through the night for ages, for the creature to launch another attack, yet it never came back. We had to call it off once we spotted an incoming blizzard. Although I am disappointed, I suppose I am rather relieved I did not have to look into the eyes and more of such a creature that could so easily drag a man beneath the ice. Even through such an ordeal, my partner Frederick could not stop snickering to himself. The rest of the page has been torn out. Another record can be found in the 19th edition of Monsters of the Developing World, in which Lord Blackwood makes an aside regarding SCP-6132 while talking about a different exploration in Russia. I had to make a quick detour by my lonesome. I couldn't bear to put another bullet into my friend's head again, not after all the adventures we'd been on. I brought with me a rifle, as I tread back to that lake. It had been years since I'd seen its magnificence, but it was overshadowed by dread as I slid down the snowy outcrops onto the thick ice. Beneath me there was only water, deep enough to instill the fear of the unknown into anyone, even me. A man who yearns for the unknown could not help but fear this instance of it. The ice cracked and my knees buckled, causing me to collapse, my face falling flat onto the abyss and through into the cold, like a hot iron against my skin. I plunged deep down into the water, grasping at the light above the ice, as my equipment dragged me further and further away from the surface. The sound of water is deafening in a panic. You can only hear the last breaths in your lungs escape as bubbles, and your heartbeat intensifies with every second you sink. On this occasion, though, the drag subsided, and I felt a pull upwards instead. I felt the embrace of something skeletal levitating out of the water and across the ice until it dropped me onto the snowy land. I only laid there shivering, watching the ice, soaked and cold. My saviour was gone. I made my way back to the campsite, nearly half dead and frostbitten, but I still made it. No one should have to drown in the cold as people watch and laugh. Maybe I should visit someplace warmer next. Oh, and that's the end of the document. But that is one of my fears, you know. Not being cold, but drowning. I have constant dreams of drowning. It's not great. Anyway, goodbye. Hello everyone, Creepy Otter here, and I just want to say a huge thank you to Bread_Tyrant for writing this SCP. Their details will be in the description below. If you want to support me financially, then go to my Ko-fi. The link is in the description below. And if you donate, you can get your name read out in future videos. Also, you will get your donation read out on a weekly live stream that I'm going to do. So yeah, also my Twitter is in the description if you want to see updates and stuff like that. So talking about my Ko-fi, we have our first donator, so thank you to Saab 9-3 for your support. See you in the next video. Goodbye.